Is man truly a walrus? That is a philosophical question posed in one of the most unhinged movies of all time, Tusk, a horror comedy movie. Unfortunately, the comedy is overshadowed by how disturbing this film is. Made by Kevin Smith, that gets weirder and weirder the more you watch it. Anywhere from Johnny Depp's most schizophrenic, weird role I've ever seen him in. Yes, that's Johnny Depp, by the way. To the endless Canada jokes that Kevin Smith likes to insert. To one of the most horrific body horror sequences I've seen since literally... This is up there with Human Centipede, in my opinion. I don't even care what anyone says. In my opinion, it's up there. This movie is a massive hell no. This is also a cursed video. I've tried to record this twice now. Once, the mic wasn't on. Twice, a spider came out of nowhere and tried to nuke me. This happens. But what if I told you there's something darker behind this movie? A philosophy that undercurrents the entire thing, including the serial killer at the center of it. What if I told you that this might be the most spiritual movie ever made? Don't leave! This is real, y'all. This is real, okay? This movie, if you want a quick rundown here, it's about a douchebag podcast host who's a douchebag to everyone around him, including his smoking, smoldering, hot girlfriend played by Genesis Rodriguez. Any man who fumbles her deserves to be shot. She is so neglected by him, she cheats on him with his podcast host and best friend. But meanwhile, he has bigger aspirations. He is invited to interview a man who has a lot of stories to tell him that would make for an interesting interview. A man named Howard, who was a military veteran, who's seen many things. And during his atrocities in war, while he was left in the water for dead, he saw a walrus in the moonlight, perfectly lit, and it changed him. The experience changed him forever. What proceeds from then is him drugging this douchebag podcaster and kidnapping him and putting him through a surgical process, sewing him into a bodysuit, a walrus suit made of human flesh, surgically putting tusks in him. And his best friend and girlfriend need to find him because they believe he's kidnapped now. And they go to get the help of Johnny Depp, who plays one of the... I think he's a cokehead in this, who plays the weirdest detective you've ever seen. This dude's insane, but fucking hilarious at the same time in the weirdest way. I don't even know what to say about this dude. This character makes no sense to me. But they're too late, because the damage has already been done. He has been sewn into this tusk suit and has embraced his animalistic side by killing his captor in this survival mode state. A tusk of war. And he realizes he's become more animal than man now. And our main villain got what he wanted. He created a walrus. The ending of this movie is just the most disturbing thing I've ever seen. This is probably the worst fate I've ever seen a man or a protagonist in a movie go through. He's in a fucking zoo. He can't do anything because he's surgically put into this goddamn suit. Removing it would kill him. Let's straight up kill him because he's surgically into it. And he's fed raw fish at a zoo by his girlfriend who's banging his best friend. Like, this is the worst fate. What is this? Well, Kevin Smith is... Something's wrong with this dude, okay? The fact that he made this. Imagine being in this state. You're surgically woven into a suit. You're a fucking walrus. That's what you get for fumbling Genesis Rodriguez, one of the hottest. If I fumbled her, I'd become the Joker, straight up. Now, the dark truth behind this movie is something worse. Because you start to see skeletons like this in this killer's lair, underneath, in the water. And you see how many people, just how many people this killer has found and victimized to create the perfect walrus. His attempts to create the walrus, there has to be a deeper philosophy at play here, okay? Now, a lot of people accuse me of being a misanthropist, someone who hates humankind to the point where I don't want to be associated with them, I don't want to be anywhere near human society. That's not true. I think it's okay to point out the flaws in humanity. I think we're an insanely intelligent species that's done some insane stuff on Earth, or the amount of innovations we've created. But to be honest, at sometimes I question whether we deserve the meteor or not, an asteroid hit, because we're so stupid. I think social media just showed me the worst side of humanity, and I'm a bit biased. But it's fine. True misanthropy is this man. He despises humanity. He saw the worst of it at war. And this guy belongs in a Hannibal TV show as one of the serial killers there, okay? Because he's perfect for that show. He hates humanity so much, he believes we're not worthy to stay in this flesh. We need to transcend humanity and become a fucking walrus. This new dark religion he's created is based on nihilism, trauma-driven existentialism, and a warped view of human regression. He believes humans are pathetic. Howard has had a long bout with war. All his war experiences have shown him the worst side of humanity. So, he believes that becoming less human is a form of salvation. Okay, that's how much he hates humans. He sees the walrus as a symbol of loyalty and purity, whereas humans are deceitful and lost. So he tries to recreate the one innocent soul, that walrus who saved him back in his military days, and he decides to create it by force. This is a dark twist on religion and idol worship. Because that's what the walrus is. To him, walrus is this is like the false god. Idolatry of the highest order. Howard elevates the walrus to the status of a divine figure, a savior who once spared his life. Instead of worshipping a higher spiritual being, he creates his own object of worship. Howard sees humanity as inherently fallen and sinful, corrupt, prideful. So like a twisted priest, he punishes sin by taking away that which makes us human. This is baptism through pain and transformation. That's what the surgical process to become a fucking walrus is. Many religions have rites of passage, baptism, communion, circumcision symbolizing rebirth or purification. Howard's surgeries and psychological torment serve as perverted sacraments, baptizing our main character Wallace into a new primal form. His operating table that he fucks this dude up in is the altar. The transformation is his form of salvation. Howard is basically a self-made messiah. Like some cult leaders or false prophets, Howard believes he's enlightened, a messiah with a sacred truth the world refuses to accept. He offers redemption through regression, preaching that salvation lies not in becoming more divine, but in becoming more animal. Like the Gnostic idea of rejecting the material world, but flipped. And you know the scariest part is this shit exists. This is not just, this is a character who is just insane and wants to, a sexual obsession with walruses. No, that's not what this is. This shit, where people create their own religions off of, some kind of ideology that involves human mutilation and surgery, this shit exists, okay? I need to stop this video to tell you right now. You need to like the video, otherwise Hollywood will molest me. I have a mission to take over Hollywood completely so we can save storytelling and cinematic visions forever. Hollywood doesn't want me to do this. They might take me hostage one of these days, so I can't do this war alone. I need you to like and subscribe. Blow this video into the ether. Join my army. Maybe not as a walrus in particular, but if you're familiar with the Anthill Kids cult of Canada, a cult in Canada as well. This dude led that cult, alright? Theriault ran a doom cult, a doomsday cult, where he subjected his followers to brutal surgeries without anesthesia, removing limbs, teeth, and even intestines under the guise of spiritual healing. Heaven's Gate, which is in many ways known as the cult of cults. Marshall Applewhite led that shit, and this cult believed Earth was about to be recycled and that true believers had to shed their human bodies to ascend to a higher existence aboard an alien ship. Many underwent voluntary castration before offing themselves. Yeah. And a non-cult case, which is similar to this, where it's a singular person doing damage, Armin Meus, I think he's German. I'm butchering that last name. A disturbing non-cult real-life case where Muse found a volunteer to willingly be mutilated and eaten, believing it would make them both whole or fulfilled on a spiritual level. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just a madman, Howard. He's not just some insane dude. The insanity's there. He is the spiritual heir of centuries of religious extremists who believe mutilation, suffering, and the erasing of humanity were paths to redemption or transcendence. Tusk is body horror, yep, but in many ways it's also spiritual horror. And it all culminates in this, the divine creation, the fucking walrus. Thank you, Kevin Smith, you fucking psychopath, for giving us this. If you want to know what the scariest cult in movie history is, I found it. You can watch that video over here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood. one coke line at a time.